Hello friends, today we will learn about Git commands. If you are a new developer, then you must learn Git and Git commands. In this video, we will learn a very basic Git command that every developer must know if they are using Git. So without wasting any time, let's start this video. Okay, so the first step is to download the Git. So to download the Git, just go to the browser and type download Git and open this link. And since I'm using Windows, so I will choose download for Windows. So this will download that Git setup file for you. And once it is downloaded, just run the installation file. It's not so hard, so I won't show you this step, but once you complete that installation process, the next step is to run the Git Bash. I will simply run the Git Bash. The first command that I will run is git version. So Git version will show me the version that is installed on my machine. So guys, for this video I'm working on this folder called Learn with Sanz, which I created within my D drive inside the dev folder. So the first command that we need to run is git initialize. So that is git and init. So that is the git initialization command. So once you run this git initialization command, you will see this master text over the folder, so which means the git initialization command is run. So you can double check by going into that folder, where you will see it will create a git folder. So if you go to this drive, you will see this git folder created, which means our Git has been initialized now. Now let's say you want to work in a specific branch. So for that you need to run this command. So I'll say git checkout -b for branch and name of the branch. So the branch name, you can write any name. So but I will say I will use this branch develop. So this will create a develop branch, and this will check out, and I'll be now inside the develop branch. So you can see the text over here which says now there is a develop branch and I'm in the develop branch. Now let's open this folder within the Visual Studio Code, which I already opened here. So within here, let's say I want to create a new file. So I'll say echo hello world, and let's create this text within index.html. And now if you will see there is a one index.html file. So let's create another file, echo about, say about us, and let's create about us.html. Now if you run git status, then it will give you the status. So there are two files being created and it's say on track. So there are two on track files. Now if you want to track this file, you first need to add this to the so if you want to add this file to be tracked, then the first thing you need to do is git add and dot. What it does is it will add all the files within the current folder. So you can see there are two files. So if you run git status now, you will see there are two new files being tracked, and you can see the color also is green, which means they are in the stage. So what does stage mean? So if you create another file, let's say echo hello Sanjay and say sanjay.html, and if you run git status again, okay, so you can see there are two files which is in the stage area, and there are one file that are not been staged. So when you like commit the files, only the files that are in the stage area will be committed. So you can say I only want to commit these two files and not this one. Then what you need to do is git commit m for message and type some new message. So I can say adding about us and index.html files, about us dot about us.html and that's files, right? So you say two file change. So if you run the git status again, you will only see the sunday.html file, but you won't see these two files because they have now been like committed. So you can run this command git log. So if you run the git log, it will give it a log history like about the commits. So you can see the same command that commit command that we have written before, adding about us, which means these two files are now been committed into the git in our develop branch, right? Okay, and now if you open the Visual Studio Code, you can see there are two files. So let's say that in index.html file you made some changes. So let's say you modify this file and you add some text like hello Sanjay. Now you make some changes in this index.html file, right? So now if you go to git status, then you will see this modified tag, which means this file has been now modified. Now if you need to know what is the change that we have modified, then this is the command that you need to run. So git diff. So with git diff you will see, so before you in that file it was hello world, but now you replace this hello world with all these commands, right? So press Q to end, and if you are now happy with the changes, then and you want to commit that file, but if you don't want to commit this one, then before we run git add dot, which will add all the files, but for this one you want to commit the changes that you did only on this file. So git add and add the file name, so that will be index.html add. So git status, you can see now the index has again been in the stage area. So you can now again put some command. You can run this git commit command again, and again you can write some message like okay, modify index.html, and if you run the git status, you won't see that files, means this has been committed. So you can check git log, and you will see there are two commits. One was the initial commit where you had these two files, and another was modifying the index.html. Cool. Okay, now let's suppose that develop is your main branch, but you want to work on any specific feature. Then instead of working on this develop branch, what you will do is you will create a separate feature branch using this main branch, meaning you will be creating a separate branch for the develop, and you will do all your work within that feature branch. And once all your changes within the feature branch is ready, then the next step will be you merge that feature branch to this develop branch. So let's do that. So let's say you are working on a different branch. So this is the command that you need to run: git checkout -b, that will be branch. And let's say you are working on new feature. Let's say you are adding a video module. So now you are in the feature video modules. So this is the new branch that is created using your develop branch. And let's say within this video module you added a new file called video dot I call my video video.html. So you will see this file video.html. so let's add both video and HTML for this branch. Git add, you can do either HTML or you can just add git add dot, and that will add all the files. So if you check git status now, just run the same command, add video file, HTML file, right? So if you log the status, so within this feature video module, you have added two files. So if you check over here, you will see you have added these two files, right? This video and Sunday, yeah. So now this files does exist only on this feature video module. So if you check out to the develop branch, then you won't see those files, see, because we added those files only for the video module. So git checkout feature video module. So we will use -b if you need to create a new branch, but if you need to change the branch from one branch to another, then you don't need to use that -v. So it would be just simply git checkout and branch name. So now I'm in the feature video module branch, and now if you check the Visual Studio Code, you'll see those two files again, right? So suppose you work on this branch, you made modification and you are happy with these features. Now you want to merge this change into the develop branch. So for that, what you need to do is you need to first change to the a target branch, which in our case is the develop branch, right? So we want to merge that video module with the develop branch. So for that you need to run this command: git merge feature video module. So what it will do is it will now merge all the changes that you have done within this video into this develop branch. So it's it has added now Sanz and video, and you are now in the develop branch. So if you check over here, you will see this file which was not there before. Correct, right? Okay, so next step is to check how many branches we have created. So for that you need to run git branch, and it will list all the branches that are available. So at the moment you have two branches. We have two branches: develop and feature video module. And the star within this with the green one indicate that that is the current branch that we are using. So we are in develop branch, so it's showing star and develop branch in a green color, right? Easy. Okay, so far we have done initialize. Okay, okay, the next step, the next git command. So let's say once you have merged all your changes into the develop branch, and now you don't want to, you don't need this feature video mojo anymore, so you want to delete it. So for that you need to run this command git branch -t for delete and branch name video mojo. So that will delete the branch. So if you run the git branch, now you only have develop branch. So let's say that you work you work on any specific file like this one, hello Sanz. You make some changes like how are you, and now when you check the git status you will see the changes, and one stage if you realize that, oh, I don't need to make that changes, I just want to discard all the changes. For that you can use this command. So git reset -har. So this command will reset all the changes that you have made. So if you, before you run the command, let's say what we have, right? So we have added how are you within this sanjay.html. So when you run this command, it will just remove all the changes that you have made within this file. So this command is also very useful, so git reset har. Now let's say in your project there are a couple of files that you don't want to track. So let's say there are some files like echo and say help dot maybe exe file, help, and let's say you are creating, we have this file git status. So let's say that you have this help.exe file but you don't want to track that file. Then for that what you need to do is, one way is to never commit that file, but that is not a great one because that will be difficult because it will keep showing over here, and it will be difficult to neglect that files. So let's say that you have this help.exe file but you don't want to track this file. So for that you need to create this important file. So that is GitIgnore. So get status. So what it does, it within this GitIgnore you can specify what sort of file you don't want to be tracked. So if you go to here within the GitIgnore, you can say, okay, I don't want to track help.exe. And now if you run git status, you won't see that help file over there. Now let's say you have another file. So let's say you have echo, and let's say there is test.exe and git status. And now you can see the test.exe has been tracked, but help.exe is not tracked. Now let's say that you don't want to track any exe file. So again, for that, within this GitIgnore, what you can do is you can either say test.exe And if you run this command, or the better will be remove all and use this start.exe, which means it will ignore all the files that start with any file name but ends with extension exe. So if you run the git status again, you will see the files have not been tracked. So if you create any new file, let's say echo test2 and let's say test2.exe, git status, you will see the file is created but it hasn't been tracked. So GitIgnore is very important because when you are working on any project, there may be like the cases where you don't want to track any files, especially like those node modules files, or that can, or it can be anything depending upon your requirement. So that is something very important, and you should always all right. So if we need to summarize all the commands that we have learned today, then we have today learned the git initialize command, which is to initialize the git. We have learned how to create a branch, how to create a feature branch, how to check out from one branch to another, how to commit your change, and how to merge your change from feature branch into the develop branch. And we also learn adding the GitIgnore files to ignore to stop tracking any files that you don't want to be tracked, and also learn how we can delete any branch that you no longer need it. So these are the basic commands that you should definitely need to understand and you should learn if you are working on Git. So in my next video, I will show you how you can work with the GitHub. So basically, at the moment, whatever branch we are creating, we are all working in a local a branch, which means it's locally stored in your computer. But if you want to push those changes and those branches into the cloud, like in a Bitbucket or in a GitHub, then for that you need to learn something more. So friends, in this video we have learned about the basic Git commands, but in my next video I will show you how you can deal all these commands in a GitHub, meaning you can post all those changes into the GitHub repository. And so that video will be more interesting because you will then practically know how you can create a separate project in a GitHub, and how you can pull that project into your local, and how you can modify any change within that branch, and how you can push those changes again into the GitHub repository. So if you like these videos, and if you think this video helped you, and then please give thumbs up and please subscribe my channel, and I will see you soon in my next video. Thank you so much. Bye.